It's me, Ringo! And it's another great adventure of Dudes with Brews on a Porch. I'm with my sexy friend Robert, and he's got a friend with him too. She's an accomplished author and writes things. It's Dudes with Brews. Ringo!
Cue it.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with Brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
This week was on again, then off again, then on again, and then on again, off again, on.
It's on now. That's all that matters. It's on now.
Rob has put on his booking agent shoes,
Yep.
and he has brought with us a great guest, another author, which we love. We've had our pal Rob Weldon on, and now we have Ivy on as well. Ivy Brannon, correct?
Correct. That's me.
I always
I bring in the stars.
bring in the stars.
Task.
No matter how easy your last name may or not be, I will mess it up 100% of the time.
It's okay. I mess it up sometimes too.
Good. So she's the author of the book The Veil, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But right now, it is Dudes with Brews on a porch. Never mind. Okay, so I'm drinking something called Sphinx, and it's from Mortails Brewing Company. It is a sour, Rob and Ivy. It looks kind of like chunky and purple. It's,
Wow.
Oh, it's like a smoothie.
Yeah, kind of smoothie. And when you hear what's in it, it'll kind of definitely represent that of a milkshake. It's a fruited sour that blends together blackberry, pineapple, coconut, cream, and lactose-free ice cream. A tropical smoothie experience. It is 6% ABV, 0 on the IBUs. It is a vegan's dream, Rob, because it is.
I'm a vegan. That's amazing. I gotta try it.
I knew that.
You sensed it.
Um,
Thank you.
We definitely did prep for this episode.
Yeah, lactose-free ice cream. I actually am somewhat of a vegan myself. Not for saving animals, but just because I don't want to have a heart attack.
That's fair. Whatever gets you there.
It's a new development.
Yeah, the last month I've moved to this.
His healthitude.
Mm-hmm.
His veganality.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. I have recipes if you
Oh
need them.
God, I need them because I gotta tell you before we dive into your beer, my son had some pizza today. Oh, and I wanted it bad. I looked at that delicious pepperoni and sausage. I was like, God damn, I wish I was eating that right now. But I stayed strong, and I had a vegetarian/vegan pizza instead.
I'm really
Cheers-
proud of
cheers
you.
to you,
Yeah,
man.
cheers.
Yeah,
That's
thank
hard.
you. Yeah.
I think I'm one of the only vegans in the world who will be like, no, meat is delicious.
Oh, it's awesome.
Dairy is amazing.
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
miss it every day of my life.
Me too. I really do. But if you listen to a few episodes ago, you'll hear the story of my doctor telling me you're going to have a heart attack or a stroke, and you better hope you die.
Oh,
He did say that, but I
She.
think he was wrong.
better hope you die.
He said
What kind of die?
He basically said you're better off dying than putting your family through the act of teaching how to walk and talk again.
Oh my god.
So if you continue on this level and you do have a stroke, wish for death.
This doctor's hardcore. He's
Yeah.
he's trying to do like a scare tactic. He's trying to be scared straight.
Well, it worked because
Well,
I've changed. I've changed a
cut
lot.
back on drinking. He's a
That's
vegan.
amazing.
Yeah.
You guys should go do
And I don't
that.
even drink that much anymore. But this is pretty good. It has a very much of that coconut cream. It feels like a mouthful of milkshake, however you want to take that. And
Sorry.
it's got some fruitiness to it. It's a good blend. It's a good blend of all the stuff. It's not so much sour, more like just like sweet. It probably has a lot of sugar, which is not good for me. But whatever. I
You
can
only,
have
you
some.
only got one a week now, so you got to make it count.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of your joke, I made a joke at work that was based on a Arrested Development episode, and apparently there's multiple connotations to the Spanish. What do they say? Give me a second. Something about it's like, do you want milk in Spanish?
Leche?
I asked one of my coworkers what this phrase meant from Arrested Development, and they were like, "Oh, it just means you want milk." And so when because they were using it in the context of a baby. So you want some milk? You want some milk? So then my other coworker was being babyish, so I said that to him, and he was like, "Dude, that means a lot of stuff. Don't say that to people." But either way, your milkshake thing made me think that.
Yeah. You're drinking Art is Hard from North Park Beer Company, which is in San Diego, California. Do you got the details on it, or do you want me to read it?
You can read. I know it's a double, I think it's a double dry hopped IPA with Citra. I think Simcoe.
Simcoe, yep. It's their house hazy IPA is loaded with Simcoe, Citra, and a word I don't know how to say, hops, expressing juicy tangerine, orange,
I'm gonna
tropical,
need you to
fruity.
attempt it, Drew.
If I peel off the sticker on the can, I will know how to say it.
Matuika, something like that.
That sounds right. I think that's it.
It is
Nails are
super juicy with a lusciously smooth mouthfeel, brought to you by copious amounts of creamy malted oats and extra pale premium Pilsner malt. Absolutely refreshing with a clean, dry finish. It is 6.7 on the ABV, 0 on the IBUs. It looks
we have
good.
7 on the can. It says
Yeah, they
7
lied
over
to
here.
us on the can.
Oh, dang.
Or on the internet. But I choose to believe the internet over anything I see in reality.
That's not probably a good idea.
Well, what?
The internet is...
Just in life, just whatever you read on the internet.
Yeah,
Okay.
aliens have taken over. Bigfoot is real, and
Okay. Never mind.
No,
That's a tangent. I can go off on Bigfoot stuff.
We're believers in this.
Oh, 100%. I love me some Bigfoot.
But I would say this is a super smooth beer.
Yeah. For an hazy.
It's got it's a good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong with a hazy.
There's nothing too like crazy about it. It's pretty well balanced. It's like I don't get a lot of the Citra or Simcoe. I don't get. It's not super bright and juicy. It's not super malty. It all kind of blends together really well. It'd be like a good starter beer for somebody if they're like, oh, I don't really drink IPAs. I'd be like, well, just try this.
Nice.
And then you might kind of like get into it.
Did we forget to mention that she knows more about beer than both of us combined?
That's awesome.
I do not.
Good.
I do not.
It sounds like you do. It sounds like you do. But
yeah, you've already proven that.
Okay.
That's why I like this beer. Forgot,
Well, Ivy, you're here to let's talk about your book a little bit. So you wrote a book called The Veil.
Yes.
Is this your first book?
It is, yes. So it's my first, it's my debut novel. It's a new adult fantasy romance book that came out in February. I'd written like screenplays and stuff before that, that were like somewhat successful, like no blockbuster movies or anything, but like some short films. And I would, I'd do that, and I'd pitched like a couple of TV shows and stuff. And I'd always wanted to write books, but I just never did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it always just seemed too daunting, and there was too much like outlining and stuff that had to go with it. And then late 2021, so I think November 2021, there were a couple events that gave me ideas. So I had an idea for a book, and I really wanted to write it, but I never pulled the trigger. And then my boyfriend at the time, and I broke up. It was a boyfriend of 6 years. And suddenly, like my life fell apart, and I was like, I need escapism. And so my friend had jokingly said like, oh, hey, write me like a scene. Specifically like a spicy scene, because we both were single, and she was like, I need a fictional man. She's like, write me a fictional man. And I was like, all right, here's like a little snippet. And she became obsessed, and she came like asked me to come over to her house, and she was like, dude, this was so good. I need to read more. And I was like, what? No, I'm not like a writer of books. I write screenplays. I can't do that. But also, if I did do that, here's the idea I had. And she was like, that sounds awesome. Please write it. And so she like really poked and prodded at me to write it. And then I was like, okay, I'll write you like a couple, like the first 5 chapters. I think I wrote her the first 5 chapters and I sent them over and she read them in like a day. And she goes, I'm obsessed. You need to keep writing this. And so I just kept writing basically for her and me. And it was helping me cope with a lot of stuff. One, like a lot of like dark stuff from my past that I kind of buried. It was helping me get through my breakup. And it was just this beautiful experience. And before I just kept sending her like chapter after chapter after chapter. And then eventually I was like, oh, shoot, the book's done. It's a trilogy. And then she was really like, you need to publish this. And my sister is an author.
Nice.
And so I was like, I never wanted to like get in on her business. Like it was always like we had our different art forms that we kind of stayed in. And I just didn't want to like jump in on her art. And then my friend just kept pushing, like, you need to publish, you need to publish, you need to publish. And then I remember I asked my sister and I go, hey, like if I wanted to publish a book, like, would you be okay with that? Like I got her permission and she was like, absolutely, please do. Like, I'll help you. Like, here are like, this is how you write a query letter for agents if you want to do that. Or like, this is how to do the self-publishing route. And I weighed pros and cons and I queried a couple agents. I think I did like 4 letters out. And then finally I was like, you know what? I think self-publishing is the way to go. I want complete control over my works. I have an idea where the story is going and where the storyline is going. And it's like a little bit edgy. And I don't think traditional publishers will go for it, but I need to do it. So yeah, I did self-publishing and here we are. My first book came out in February and the second book comes out in August. And that was a big long tangent. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good.
She's been drinking, so she just goes off.
The less Rob and I have to talk, the better, because then the more interesting the podcast is. Rob and I can only go back and forth.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah, it is.
No. When Rob's on, Rob can talk. We all know Rob can talk. Not me, the interesting
Burbank Bob I'm talking about.
But yeah, so we take the back seat if we can.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So what exactly, I guess, what is the Veil about?
So the Veil, God, that's the hardest question. I swear to God. So this book is 400 plus pages, and writing that book was easier than like writing the synopsis that goes on the back of the book. I swear to God. Basically, the Veil is about a young woman. She's in her 20s. She's heard stories growing up of a mythical veil that separates the human realm from a different world where there's magic and monsters. And once a year on the pagan holiday of Samhain, it lifts and anything can pass between those realms as they wish. And so she thinks it's just a myth, just a legend. And then she's traveling with she's hunting with her brothers on that holiday. And it turns out all those stories are true. So they are attacked. There's a tragedy. Her little brother, her 6-year-old brother, is stolen away in the night. And he's claimed as a changeling, which if you're familiar with, I have a hiccup, sorry. If you're familiar with Irish folklore and the stories of the Fae, changelings are they're children who are replaced with a Fae child, and the Fae steal this human into the human realm. So the story is basically about her staying in this Fae realm to try to get her brother back. And there's a romance. There's multiple romances. There's a love triangle because she's saved. She gets in some trouble. The girl is always getting in trouble. She tends to she's a bit a bit impulsive, and the girl can always find trouble. And she's saved by a handsome and powerful, Fae warrior, and she goes to live with him. And the realm was already kind of on the outskirts of war. There's been a lot of trouble with this. It's all right. There's like the Fae, and then there's a darker Fae subgroup called the Nethers. And they're like monsters that come from another world. And so they've been on the outs for a while. And there's been like war, whispers of war. But then the female main character, she does something early on in the book on Samhain that is the spark that ignites war, basically, and like a lot of trouble in the realm. So yeah, there's drama, and there's violence, and there's love, and there's death, and it's a whole grand old time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's got.
I would say like so. The story kicks off instantly because I finished reading it today.
Nice.
And then I went to the book club and we talked about it. One of the interesting things to me is that there's 3 like layers to there's 3 different worlds within this story.
A bit of a spoiler there.
You think so?
Yeah. God damn it, Rob.
God damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll get it out. I'll stop.
Just don't talk about that third world at the end. Let's talk about the first 2. So there's like the human realm that she is.
That world quite a bit.
The Nethers come from somewhere. You may or may not see it.
Well, I can't talk about what I'm about to talk about, which was one of the most interesting things of the book.
Great.
So we'll table that.
We'll table it. That's fine.
When we'll do what we did with Rob, where it's like when the second book comes out, you'll come back.
I'll
yell at our listeners. I'll call them assholes and say, just stop the podcast now and go read the first book, because I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. That's what I did.
The second one will be all spoilers. I have no idea how to market the second book because it's just all spoilers.
Well, we don't want to give anything away. We want
the first book.
We want people to read it.
Huh?
We want people to read it, so no spoilers, which is okay.
No spoilers.
This is my. I said this when we left to come here. I said I have a tendency to spoil things because, in my opinion, you can't spoil things because it's like if you. I have to catch up to her. She's already done with her drink.
Get on my level.
Like if the story is the story, which the story is what's interesting, then I don't give a shit about what the ending is. So that's my problem.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that. We're going to get into this book instead.
That's my problem.
Well,
that's my issue.
The last time.
So, but I will say, starts right off because to me, this is a story of somebody coping with extreme tragedy and doing it in a very real way, and by real way, I mean doing the worst possible things you can do in certain situations.
I'm sorry, yeah. You hit the nail on the head. I've just never heard it so accurate.
Rob is familiar with that process.
I'm pretty good at summing shit up.
Yeah, no, the girl is a little bit chaotic, which a lot of people hate. I get it. But it's also real.
But when you go through something,
what was interesting to me is so at the book club, one of the things that came up was there were people that were kind of like, Lena's kind of, she's kind of like, there were people that were like, Lena's annoying at the beginning. I was like, Lena's kind of annoying at the end. And then there was somebody like, she's kind of annoying all the way through. And then I was like, thinking about it as we were talking about other things, and I came back around to it, and I was like, yeah, but she's written from the perspective of self-doubt, self-loathing, and anxiety, which is annoying. It is a thing that you want that to get away from you. You want that out of your brain, but guess what? It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away that easy, just like it doesn't in the story. Mm-hmm. It's a very accurate portrayal of somebody who's going through this thing where it's like they do everything from the reader's perspective. And I thought you did a really good job on this, where it's like, from the reader's perspective, you go, this is so glaringly obvious. Mm-hmm. And then the characters involved would walk away and do what all human beings do and question everything about themselves in that moment, everything about what the other person meant in that moment. And they would come to the worst possible conclusion, mm-hmm. which is, oh, I did something wrong. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm the problem here. I'm so embarrassed. And that's what people that deal with, whether it's from trauma in the past or just from anxiety in the moment, that I feel like that's the way that people that have that mindset process things, and I think he really like pulled off that was all the characters.
Thank you. That means a whole lot, because that was definitely the goal with her. And it's funny, like I try not to read reviews, but it's really like I'm a masochist, so I like to I like to read them, and I feel horrible about myself. But at the same time, like a lot of times I'll read negative reviews and I agree with a lot of the stuff that people say. Like it's so funny that you were talking about that, because I think it's like the top rated or like the most beneficial negative review on Amazon, right? Because they always do like the top review and the top low review. It's a very strange thing. Amazon is a strange beast. But yeah, let's do it. But someone their comment was that this is it was exactly that. This is a very accurate portrayal of someone who's gone through trauma and is dealing with it and handling it in a very accurate way, but that makes them a very unlikable main character.
I would say, everything that Rob described, everything that you described, I call that Monday.
Monday, yeah. It's the same.
That's what I do. When it comes to self-doubt, self-loathing, and everything in between.
Yeah.
This guy.
It's been very eye-opening because, I mean, it is when you are suffering and you're going through stuff and you're kind of in this fight or flight mode and you're just surviving, you are in like a very, it's such like a negative connotation with it, but the word that's coming to my mind is like a self-centered way, not in like I'm like I have a big ego and I'm thinking self-centered. It's just that like my pain is so great and like I just fucking need to survive. Sorry for swearing. Like it's just like everything is me, and then like when things happen, you go, oh, that thing happened because like that person hates me. Fuck, I gotta like spiral, and it's very chaotic. That's the word that I've really like latched onto with my main character. She's a little chaotic because she's been through so much, and her life is literally flipped upside down. Everything she's ever known is challenged in the first chapter, and she experienced intense tragedy and trauma in chapter 1. So the book takes place over the course of a year, and so she's just like dealing. And it's like, I'm not gonna go out and be like, if that's me, I'm like, I'm not gonna go out and be like, well, I'm in this new world. I guess I'm going to learn about the people and like go visit the villages and like relax. I'd be like, no, I'm going to fucking, I don't know, man. Like I'm going to pick up sword fighting because I need to never feel weak ever again.
Maybe
and
rock climbing.
Like search for my brother. And also there's like a hot guy over here and he's giving me attention. I guess I'll focus on that. Like I just like, it's very chaotic. And the pace is very quick because I want to mimic that chaos. Like the girl is chaotic.
That's awesome.
Which people love or they hate. There's like really no in between.
And I like, everybody that like we got to like, it was very interesting to get to sit around and talk at a table with people about it, and all of them liked it, but we all had our different things that we liked about it. We all drew different correlations. We all had like these different strings that we picked up. Off the mosaic of what the full picture was, and if you can do that with a book in your first book, that's an amazing feat to accomplish. At that, let's get into our second beer.
Okay.
So
we're there. Get on our level.
I will not get on your level. I'm sorry to say.
Wait, that's right. Sorry, you're being so good.
I say get on your level. The heart explosion.
You're doing great.
Let it happen.
Just watch. The chaos over here.
Well, what are you having now?
Humble Forager.
Humble Forager.
We are having Smells Like a Humble Adventure.
That's a cool
Imperial
name.
Vanilla and Cinnamon Maple Mocha Stout. Maple syrup, cocoa nibs, coffee, cinnamon, and vanilla beans.
Awesome.
It is actually when I picked this up because I chose this one, I did not look at the alcohol content. What is it? It's not. It doesn't tell me. That's not a good sign. Wait, here we go. I found it.
It's a secret.
Oh shit! It's 12%.
Dang.
Oh god! I'm so sorry.
That's how you do it.
Right.
Rob doesn't work tomorrow. He's okay.
Yeah.
I don't work tomorrow either.
Oh, good.
It's not like
I
like
do.
I'm on call.
Let's go.
Yeah, I do have to get up bright and early tomorrow, but that's okay.
Well,
I'll
this guy's a teacher. He's a master also.
yeah, thanks.
He's got his master's degree.
Okay.
And he's
I was like, there's a lot of different meanings for the word master, and I don't
Oh.
understand.
He's also master of his own domain, I think. Are you?
I don't know.
Sure,
I'm not
that's
sure.
what I was thinking.
But anyways,
That's what I think. When I think of Drew and Master,
yeah.
we go way back, me and this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I just
And now
I think it's so
I've
great.
made it uncomfortable. So my
No,
part
I
of the
think it's
show
so
is done.
sweet.
It's over.
Now I want to talk about you guys, not myself.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, cheers.
Oh,
What-
cheers.
yeah, what
It's actually
questions?
just I will say this, for 12%, it does not taste like 12%. It is very well balanced. I think the maple is kind of just translating as sweet.
Okay.
But it's not like that syrupy sweet that like a lot of Imperials get.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you're not like, oh, I'm drinking cough syrup. It's a
No,
very good.
it's actually pretty
It's
thin.
very thin, actually.
Yeah.
For something this strong. This is cool.
Good. I'm
Oh,
glad.
yeah.
I'm glad it's good. I'm glad it's good. So your writing process. So you mentioned you
Okay.
kind of went through some stuff in this journey. Would you recommend writing things down when you're feeling some sort of way, or are you more familiar with, because obviously like you have a lot of different aspects in this book. You have a lot of different ideals, but it stemmed from a situation that you had gone through, or at least that's what I took from what you said. I don't know how accurate that is, but would you recommend that approach, or when it comes to writing, or is it the outlining just an idea you have and bringing in personal touches, try to not bring personal touches into it, or personal experiences? What do you think?
Oh, I'm a big believer in the famous line, write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, I love the stuff where it's written from the heart and it's so gritty and real that it's not going to hit with everybody, but it will find the right people. And that's what I always knew about this book. I go, it's not going to be for everybody. I'm not trying to write a book this book was not written for the like grand marketing thing where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write a bestseller. I was writing to write what I wanted to write and what I wanted to read and what my friend wanted to read. Like, I was writing it for me and my friend, which we are very similar people. So it's like, I was basically just writing it for myself. And then putting it out into the world, I just trusted, like, it will find its people. And there are a core group of, this is like a big shout out. I might get emotional. There's like a big shout out to like the fans that like, do follow me on like Instagram and stuff like that. Like, there are a couple young ladies and young men who are just so gung-ho about this book, and they make my life, and it's so exciting because like I don't know, I see them and I go, yeah, like I wrote it for you, man, like that, like because I knew I wrote it for me, but I go, there has to be people like me out there that this like resonates so well with. And yeah, I have such a small following, but like the people who do follow me like mean the world to me, and I always try to message them and I always try to talk to them because like they truly make my day, and I get so excited when they do message me, and yeah,
that's awesome.
It's just beautiful. But yeah, I always say, yeah, write what you know. That's going to be so real and so gritty. And also, like, art has always been such a beautiful thing to me and such an important thing to me. Since I was a kid, I was painting, or I was dancing, and I was acting, and like, because I went through like a lot of horrible things throughout my life, and it became an escape / also a way to express the things going on inside. Like painting your feelings, or like dancing your feelings, or like with acting, you can kind of like finally like let those emotions come out. And writing especially, like it's been so magnificent because it's like, I mean, I wouldn't suggest putting as much of yourself into a character as I have put
Sure.
into Lena. Like, Lena basically is me just if I said and did everything I want to do in like a fantasy setting. I have a little more control than this girl does, but like I don't want to have control.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to just explode and do anything and say everything, but also, I don't know, seeing the results of that with her, you're like, I actually don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe it's a good thing that I have control. But it is very therapeutic, and you learn a lot about yourself when you do put everything out there or into your art. And you know, it's actually like a therapy tactic. Like, a lot of therapists always recommend like journaling or painting, or like they recommend art. Art is a therapy technique. And there's a reason for that, because it's very, very useful. And yeah, I've grown so much and like learned a lot about myself, like writing. And yeah, so I don't know. I highly suggest turning to art when you're going through a difficult time and using that as a coping mechanism instead of a lot of the negative things that we often do, which I'll do those too. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. Like, I'll definitely self-sabotage and get dark, but finding art has been huge, because throwing yourself into art and channeling your demons into something beautiful is really incredible, and it's an incredible thing, and I highly suggest it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, always write what you know. What you know.
I tell myself that all the time.
You are writing what you know. I know
right.
what you're writing.
Rob, it's your turn to talk about how you cope.
How do I
Oh
cope?
boy.
How do you cope?
I'm relearning how to cope after having the worst coping mechanism for the majority of my adult life.
Yeah.
But I started writing something new that
you did?
Is completely about that. It's about it's kind of about Tony's. It's about like this. It's about a joke that Michael and Alexis make in my. It's not at my expense because it's a compliment, but I, like, the more I was going through it, and I used to have this thing that I used to do, and my therapist like really gets on my case about it, where I'll go like, oh, if you do this, then this, and it's never a good thing at the end. And so like, if you're friends with everyone, you're friends with no one. If you say you're happy, then you're not happy. If you're, it's like, so you can't admit to yourself these things. And it's about somebody who's friendly with that can like transgress between or transgress. That's a terrible word. They can move from group.
Transmutate?
Maybe transmutate. Yeah,
it's a trans word. I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
Transmute.
We'll get out. We're gonna placeholder there, and we'll put in the word. We'll make Drew do the edit. But it's somebody that can cross the boundaries between like these different groups, sports guys, misogynists, intellectuals, all these things, but doesn't know actually what he is, like a
social butterfly.
Yeah, kind of like
who
that.
Doesn't know who he
but
is.
it's like an anime. I was talking.
Anime.
It's not anime. Animated.
Animated.
I don't finish my words all the time, which is the worst thing that a writer can do, I think.
I just got into anime, so I gotta say.
But yeah, so it's there's more to come on that. That's something that I just literally started kind of jotting down notes about and all that. But for me, yeah, I totally. For me, coping is honesty. It doesn't even have to be writing. When I learned how to stop, like, and like literally just like go the thing in the pit of your stomach that makes you feel guilt, that makes you feel shame, say it to the person next to you, and watch them go, oh my God, I have the same thoughts. It's different. It's about a different thing, but it's the exact same mental mechanism. And then all of a sudden you have a friend that you talk to about these things. And you do that with like everybody, and you just, like, all of a sudden it becomes this thing where you're no longer doing something to cope with something. You're just being somebody that copes with things. And you don't have to think about it anymore. Honesty is the best thing that you can do But if you're writing, write from a place of honesty, and therefore it automatically comes through.
Yeah.
Now, me, I don't have anything published. I don't have any. I'm not a writer per se.
You are a writer. If you write, you're a writer.
But I will say, yeah, the write with you.
I'm so sorry. My dog just threw a bone.
That's all right. No, I think. Rob, I think you're. I think I also agree. Rob is a writer, and I think he's capable of doing a lot of things. My coping mechanism is drinking beer and then talking into a microphone to my friend in California, and becoming a satirized version of myself.
It's okay. Mine is just drinking beer alone in my house and talking to nobody but myself. So there you go. You're doing better than me.
I suggest a microphone.
Microphone.
You don't have to hook it up to anything. But at least,
have me over on your podcast. So
no, this podcast really has been I think everybody should do. I've said this to so many people.
Everybody should do.
Everybody should do a podcast, whether they're hosting it or whether. And I get the luxury of being on a co-host on a podcast. Everybody should be a co-host on a podcast with a host like Drew, who won't let me talk about him because there was some famous person that said like it's everybody's like within all of us, we all want to just be interviewed. That's what we want.
Oh.
And in reality, I think that's true. Like we want somebody to be interested in what we're saying. That's a conversation at the bar. That's a conversation at the park. That's a conversation with a child, whatever. Like people want somebody to be interested in what they have to say. And that's what being on a podcast, especially in a co-host role or whatever, where it's like, we literally get to sit down once a week and go like, I saw a sign the other day and this is what that sign was. This is what I thought of that sign. And it's like, otherwise it just rolls around in your head forever that you thought this about a sign and it was interesting to you, but you never tell anybody. It's like, until somebody is interested in it. And with a podcast, you get a little clicker device that goes like 500 people were interested in what you said about the fucking sign on the being upside down or whatever on this street. It is an amazingly cathartic experience, and I'm so glad that I got to be on it because this podcast helped me find honesty amongst a few other things. So,
well, yeah, because I make you talk about your personal life because like you said, I don't want to talk about mine. Even though
you won't talk about it, you'll edit it out. If I say anything, if I say the words NFDL, you're gonna edit it out. I just created work for you.
They don't know what that is, but
I don't know.
That's the thing. I purposely didn't say the words, but he knows what I mean by that.
Yeah, I just don't. There's certain things I don't want to talk about, but it's.
That's why you are gonna have your heart's exploding, man, because you hold it.
My heart's fine now. I was good this week.
No.
He just had to cut out dairy, man.
No, it's not the dairy. It's the secrets.
It's the secrets. You spilled the last time we spoke last week. You spilled a lot of secrets about who I was formerly married to. So
I did. I spilled your secrets for you.
You did.
Like a good friend.
Yes. Like he is a good person.
I don't tell our friends. I just say it into a microphone now that's recorded and put out to everybody.
All right, I'm gonna be something real, and it's in regards to like sexuality. It's not. So the other day I was at a bar. My friend, there was like a bartender, and he was by, and then my friend was like, "Hey, I found a unicorn for you and your girlfriend." And he pointed at me, and I was like, "Dude." You can keep that in if you want to or not. I have no shame about it. But
we all need those people in our lives to make our cheeks.
And he's like, "I'm sorry, is that like a secret?" I was like, "No."
What is a unicorn?
It was. Oh.
Go ahead.
Go Google it. Go to Urban Dictionary and Google unicorn. I don't know what kind of viewership you have.
You can say whatever you want.
Steve Jobs was a unicorn, I think.
Was he really?
It depends on the context.
Jesus, I don't want to think about him in that context. Anyway,
I think I have it wrong. I'm willing to admit that I'm thinking of the other unicorn. Yeah, the other unicorn.
So there's a couple.
I got it.
Yes.
There you go. He did the Urban Dictionary. Don't read the thing aloud.
You don't want me to read it?
Nobody that listens has Google, so they will never know.
There's nothing wrong with it. I just didn't know what it was.
There's nothing wrong with it. No, it's just not something that like people go out and like say a lot. So I was just like, whoa.
How do you get to Urban Dictionary?
You go on Google and then just say Unicorn Urban Dictionary.
/
Interesting. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'll do this off.
Are you
Anyway.
from California?
No, I was born in Virginia and
Oh.
raised in rural redneck Colorado.
Cool.
We lived on like a little plot of land on the side of a mountain, and I spent my childhood running barefoot through the woods and pretending I was in Lord of the Rings. And yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful little existence. I'm very happy about it, but I'm also never ever going back. So
Yeah. Rob, are you ever coming back to Wisconsin?
I hate to.
You're not.
I have my niece is in Wisconsin.
Like,
so
you'll
I will
visit.
have to- but I get to see her in Michigan this year.
Oh, okay. Sad.
You know, there's only 2 people I'd come back for: my niece and you. My brothers, I love them, but they can come to me.
You're right.
I'm sorry, I have a sister, and that's so fucking real. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So
I love you so much, but like you can come to me.
that's
That's fair.
Mike's come out here.
I would kill for you, but also
but
I'm not buying a plane ticket.
But I won't fly in. I won't.
But if I
fly.
hear that someone hurt you, I will track them down. Liam Neeson in Taken style, and I will hurt them.
Rob really doesn't have to be. Rob doesn't have to like really kill anybody. He just has to like, you know, go on a tangent, say some outlandish theories, and they'll do it themselves.
That was me.
No, it's accurate. It's okay.
I just hit my head on the wall. I laughed
There's
so
a wall
hard.
here.
You guys are funny.
Thank you. Finally,
Maybe it's
the show's over, Rob.
Yeah, I think it's a 12%.
God damn.
The show is over. I finally have found someone who said I'm funny. I'm validated. I'm self-actualized. We're done.
I love it. I'm listening in every week.
That's what. That's the point.
Sorry. Anyway, let's get back on track.
Do
boys.
your-
Dudes?
Do your did your family members read your book?
This is a great question because we go through this with the podcast and everything that we do. So I see you thinking, go.
Okay.
And if you read the acknowledgments, which I did, I know the answer to this.
Oh.
So, hi, buddy. Sorry, my dog is coming in. He goes, I read the book. I was there. My sister, I don't think has read my book yet. She has promoted my book, and she's been so supportive. And like I said earlier, she was helping me query agents and all that stuff. But I don't think she's actually read all of it, because sometimes she talks about it, and she's like, oh, like, this is the thing. And I go, that's not actually what happens. Like, and then my dad has read, he told me he read up until chapter 12.
Okay.
Which was the first spicy scene.
Spicy scene.
And he immediately shut it. He clapped it shut. He went, nope. And then and he goes, I'll read it. Because I saw him 2 days ago and he was like, I'll read it. I will. And I go, Dad, like, because originally I sent him a manuscript that had those chapters blacked out. And there is a spicy scene. We were talking earlier, Rob, that like there is a spicy scene. It happens to be chapter 19/20. But like there is like important information shared there. Like it's important information, but it is also like a little bit of an intimate scene. And so I blacked out as much as I could and then left in the important bits of info that you need. And it's in a document that had everything blacked out. And I go, Dad, read this. Don't read my book when it comes out. Like, read this. It's the same book, but like the bad parts, quotation marks, the bad parts are blacked out. And he just goes, no. Like, I want to read your full book. Yeah, he can go outside.
That's supportive. That's good.
It was very sweet. But then also, you know, he gets to the first spicy scene and slams it shut.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, you need to read it. And he goes, I will. I'm just gearing up for it. And I was like, just read the manuscript. I sent to you that was blacked out. And he goes, no, I'm going to read the full thing. I just got to he's got to gear himself up for it to see
I can
his
understand that.
baby daughter.
Yeah, I have a daughter as well. I could get that.
Yeah, so it's he's I get it, but also I need a minute. So yeah. And then I think my stepsister, I think all my family has read parts of it. My mom, I don't speak to my mom anymore, but she does not even know I wrote a book because she totally would read the full book. And then she would, I don't know, I think she'd have a heart attack and die. So I just haven't told her that I wrote a book.
Okay.
So yeah, family read parts of the book.
Good.
Can I ask,
Friends have read the full book.
And now I don't know how much parts means, a chapter, a half, a quarter, whatever. This is when they read it, even your friends, let's say friends too, I want to include, do they focus on certain parts, or do they ask you questions? Does anybody ever read it and go are you okay? Are you thinking this way, like the main character? Is there something I can do to ease this anxiety or this part?
No, I think they all relate to it, because I think if you've suffered some kind of difficult experience, some kind of trauma, you'll understand. You read her story, this Lena's story, and you go, yeah, I kind of relate to moments like this.
Could my 14-year-old read this?
No.
Okay.
No, don't let that happen.
Okay.
It's rated R, so I would say listen to the Motion Picture Association of America. They say 17 and above. She could send.
She should be married by the time once she's married.
If she could send, I'll send her the blacked out version that I sent my dad, and then she could read that one.
Okay. She's been reading, I forget what the author is, but I've heard through the grapevine that there are some steamy stuff in this author's writing. I didn't know about it, and then she finished the book.
Who's the author?
I don't remember.
Is it fantasy?
It's true crime, maybe. Something
crime sounds
9.
Like the worst
that sounds
genre
like dark romance. Honestly,
ever.
I read a lot of dark
it's
romance.
November
it's
9,
mafia romance and stuff. It sounds like that.
November 9. I think is the name of the book.
What's it called?
November 9, maybe. No, I'm thinking World Series of Poker. I don't know. I don't know,
but steamy true crime, that sounds like a really the wrong perspective in a Ted Bundy book.
I could be very.
That's all I'm saying.
I could be very wrong on that.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
No, she should not. She could read parts, but definitely.
Oh, it is called November 9. Colleen Hoover.
Oh, Colleen Hoover.
I don't know. Whatever.
Colleen Hoover has there's been some drama with that. It's not as bad. It's not as spicy as you could go. I honestly haven't even read a Colleen Hoover.
Yeah, you want to start some beef?
It's not a good or bad thing. It's not a good or bad thing.
Let's start a war. Let's start a war with Colleen Hoover. Fuck her. Let's. Let's get some pub.
One of the top authors right now. I'm not gonna say.
No, it doesn't matter. You're better. Your books are better, and they're more.
Funny. You're fun.
Ivy Brannon.
Listen, I could learn a lot from Colleen Hoover. I can also learn a lot of stuff not to do.
No, she could learn a lot from you by reading The Veil.
I think so. I've never heard of this Hoover lady.
Yeah. The only Hoover I know is
one of her books is being turned into a movie, so she's obviously doing something better than me.
Haven't even heard of that.
The only Hoover I know is the vacuum variety, and those suck. Get it? It's a vacuum joke.
I was waiting for the vacuum joke. I was just waiting.
It's a positive one. It's a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
But we are getting to that time where we call it quits, Ivy.
How sad.
Hey, you're welcome to join any time. Especially because it gives Rob and I things to talk about instead of. I did have a good story about my daughter though that I wasn't gonna talk to Rob about on because if it would have been a standard episode. Do you want to hear it? I can talk about it.
Yes,
I want to hear it.
Okay, so the other day I get this email from Spotify, right? And it says your Spotify email has been changed from this to this. So it was the Spotify account that's linked and where our podcast is claimed.
Can we get the email and the password?
Dudesonaporch@gmail.com in case you want to email us. But that was the email that I used. And because I claimed the podcast through that account. And then it said it was changed, and I was like, what the fuck? So like I always get like emails like that, and I thought it was fake. So then I tried to log in to Spotify with that account. Sure enough, email had been changed. I got hacked. We got hacked, Robert, which isn't good. And then I'm sending the email.
That was me.
It wasn't you this time. I sent the email to Spotify, said, hey, I need to, something is wrong. And then whatever. And then I look at the email of what it was changed to, and it was my last name and then the letter M. And I was like, well, my daughter's name is Madison, starts with the letter M. I was like, ah, shit, did she just mess everything up? So then I call her and I say, hey, did you just do something on Spotify? And she's like, yeah, I changed the email. And I was like, dude, you can't change the email on that. Like that's the podcast account. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she's 14. And that's not even the worst part, okay? So she gave me the password. We figured it out. I changed it back. The worst part is, one, all her little friends followed Dudes with Brews on a Porch's Spotify, and I was like, I don't need these kids listening to this. So I had to block them. And then I look over to the left, and I see all these
Why don't you block them?
because they don't need to hear that. And then my daughter made playlists. One, there's two things I'm concerned about. One is the name of them, and the first one I see is mascara running down my face, and I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Mascara running down, like,
she's crying. She's sad.
Why would you make a playlist that? It's concerning. She's 14. She shouldn't be saying that. She should be happy.
That's exactly when you make that playlist.
Yeah, I know.
Whether you're a guy or a girl.
And then
was it all sad songs?
Probably. Well, and that's the other problem.
You didn't look at the songs?
They were
I would
shit.
Look at the songs and pick them apart. And
They're horrible. They're just god awful songs that I don't want to listen to.
Yeah.
And I said,
Monique's with this song, "I Will Destroy Myself" is on there. I'm sure.
No, she doesn't know anything about that. She doesn't know who Monique is. She listens.
It's all horrible emo rap.
I don't even know. I don't know what it was.
Emo has become rap now, hasn't it?
I was gonna actually like emo rap.
But it was horrible. It was horrible.
There's emo rap. Oh, trust me, there's emo rap.
I know. I listened to it.
Yeah, the Suicide Boys. But they, it's just not for me. I didn't like it. I was disappointed. And I said, where did I fail as a parent where my daughter is going to...
You didn't fail as a parent. You crossed a threshold into...
teenage.
Not the name.
You're lucky it took her until she was 14 and a half.
It's not the name of the playlist. And then I asked her, I was like, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, I just did that. And I was like, okay. My where I feel as a parent is the shitty music. my whole life, her whole life, I've been playing, hey, let's go see Frank Turner.
I'm not gonna lie,
let's
though.
go.
Your music is hard.
Shut your fucking mouth. You don't even know what I listen to, Robert. You have no idea.
You stopped my... I requested one song at your wedding, and you stopped it halfway
You killed the mood, dude.
The mood was dead because of your playlist.
No. Wrong. Wrong.
All right, we'll table this because we have a guest.
I want to hear it. The guest wants to see the...
I've DJ'd weddings for a long time, Robert, and never once have I played Can I Kick It. It's a good song. I'll give you that. But it killed the mood. It killed the vibe. You're the only one dancing out there.
Like a Tribe Called Quest.
It wasn't at the right time, dude. So then
you have the wrong friends.
And then the next song that one played on, it filled the room.
That is not what happened.
The room swarmed to the dance floor.
Okay. Well, I have things to say, Drew.
Hey, man.
I'm not going to say them on the mic.
Go ahead, say it.
No, because it's. You know what cleared? No, you know what? I'm not going to say it.
I farted a lot at my wedding. I got drunk,
you knew
and I tooted.
You know what cleared that dance floor?
Hey, man. I wasn't the only one farting.
It was your goddamn drunk toot, friend.
I was not the only one, okay?
# drunk toots. Tweet them at Dudes with Bruce.
Yeah. You keep drinking the way you are, you're going to be drunk tooting tonight, Rob.
12%. I can't.
This was a very strong beer.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Well, let's get back on track. We can talk about this stuff anytime.
You're closing. You're doing the end.
Yeah. But I will say this. The opening was done by his daughter.
Really?
That's the person.
That was the best. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
It was so good. Your opening was so good.
When he showed that to me, I was very excited.
She was 9 years old when she did that.
9?
Yeah.
The one who's now listening to teenage music.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's 14 now.
Jeez.
So, yeah. Times are changing.
Fast.
But
Goes fast.
Ivy, where can people pick up your book, and where can they follow you and get to know and love you?
Sorry, that was a lot of pressure just now. You can read the ebook. You can get it on Amazon. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Let's see. If you want a print copy, I say always go through Barnes & Noble. Just because Amazon is a finicky little beast, and you can do Barnes & Noble, and they will always get it to you correctly and in good time. But yeah, that's where to do it. You can follow me on Instagram, or I have a TikTok, which I'm trying to figure out, but it is something I don't quite understand, and I'm slowly learning. But it's author Ivy Brannon, Brannon, on all social media platforms. And the second book comes out in August. I just did a cover reveal and a title reveal on my Instagram page. So
I'm looking at it right now, and I see it. I think. I don't know. I liked something.
Maybe.
That's it.
Maybe.
But
if it's got like a gold ring thing. Yeah.
Gold ring thing. Oh, there it is. Found it.
Yeah. That's the second book.
Killer.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. I'll pick up your book eventually, and I will read it.
I have 2 copies. I can send you one because I bought it from Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Dang.
Amazon took forever to get it hit to me, so I ended up buying it on Barnes & Noble. That's why she says
go through Barnes & Noble.
Go through
because that you're not the only one. That happened too. It's really annoying.
So and then we'll post some other information that's at the end of the book. We'll post it on our Instagram and Facebook to support what you're trying to support. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. You had 2 beers. You had the Art is Hard, which indeed it is hard. And then
it is hard. Writing a book is hard. Art is hard.
Is it weird that the Art is Hard was like didn't have? It was a very light, hazy with not a lot of flavor.
It was like almost 7%, so it's pretty good.
But to me, that's is it hard to make something that doesn't have, or like shouldn't art make you?
Oh, it's so easy to make art that is not hard. It's hard to make art that is hard.
They made a flavorless light, there's no weight to it. There was very like the lightest. I don't know if that's the art of beer making or if the taste and the texture is the art of beer making. If what I think it is the artisanship of beer making is to make a flavorful, memorable beer, then they named it right because I don't remember what it tasted like. I remember it being very light and very easy going down.
Nothing offensive.
But just very middle of the road beer, right?
Yeah. Basically, I mean, I'm not knocking North Park Beer Company. We love you, North Park Beer Company.
Good for them.
But yeah, it's nothing crazy. So that,
the second beer we drank. So obviously drink it. It's because it's if there's an alarm going off here. If that's true.
Okay. Yeah.
I opened the door so that.
My dog is getting antsy. He wanted to look at something.
You're good. You're good.
So the second beer we drank was what smells like a humble adventure, which the adventure in this book was nothing near humble. It was humbling, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's a good correlation there.
There you go.
But I think that this was a really good dark beer.
Yeah.
Very light. It didn't have that very heavy
syrupy.
Like it didn't sit in you like the way that some dark beers do.
I could still drink another, and we will drink another.
Yeah, we have another.
Off
good.
Screen, off mic.
Crazy.
We're gonna get the Thunder Monk going.
Thunder Monk.
Well, I drank Sphinx, and since we're making correlations, Rob is my Sphinx in so many ways.
Ooh.
I'm very mysterious.
Very mysterious, and knows how to tickle me in the best ways.
I miss you, buddy. I really do.
I miss you too.
I miss the feel of your beard on my cheek.
Oh God, this is. Do you need me to leave?
I miss it. I miss the way you nibble on my ear.
No, we've got tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
So it was good. Ivy, thank you for joining again. We look forward to talking to you in the future for the next book. And when your series is a Netflix series and everything, I want to be murdered in some way possible. So maybe in the book idea, just throw a guy named Drew in there, kill him pretty quickly, but in a cool way.
I'll put you in chapter 1. You'll be one of those horrible, horrible men in that band.
I don't want to be bad. I just want to be killed. I want to be like the guy. Like
easy.
That's very. I was like, literally,
yeah.
Quite
the guy
literally.
with Lena in the first one before the first Nether. Yeah. No, we've already casted you. Congratulations.
I'm in it. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for hanging out and telling me I'm funny.
You are.
Thanks.
I mean it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.